Welcome to Strengthening Family and School Unity in the Digital Age, working together to keep kids safe and balanced online. Hi, my name is Tabitha, and I am the director of in-school programs and adult programs. I've worked with teens and youth for over 20 years.
Hi, my name is Brandon Battle, and I'm the Director of Programs for our out of school programs at AHA. I've worked with teens now for 10 years in various formats. I've led a guys group, a creative group, I've led peace builder programs in our junior highs, and more relevantly, I have led our digital cleanse camping trip where we take about 20 teens camping for a week and take away their phones and reconnect with themselves in nature.
Hi, my name is Melissa Lowenstein, and I'm AHA's Director of Training and Content. And I've worked with AHA for 15 years and with teens and youth for most of that time. And I also have two children of my own who are 22 and 24, and three stepchildren from age 25 to 34.
Are 19 and 20 years old.
I also have two children, aged 7 and 14.
AHA is a nonprofit that's been working since 1999 to support the well-being of children, families, and communities. We are so grateful for the chance to partner with you, parents, guardians, and schools to build a healthier digital world for our kids. Today, we'll explore how you can work alongside your child's school to support your students' digital wellness. Right now, many kids are spending 10 or more hours a day on screens. Technology is taking priority over meaningful face-to-face communication and connection. Tech time is replacing sleep, exercise, face-to-face connection, and learning. The more time children spend online, the more they're exposed to real dangers, and the more their mental, physical, and academic health can suffer. Kids are more at risk than adults, and the harm is very real. That's why both parents and schools need to step in. And it starts here today, right now.
I'm here over the next 40 minutes with my colleagues to talk with you honestly about the effect of too much screen time, the risks kids face online, and how social media can harm emotional health. We'll share guidance, inspiration, and useful tools that you can implement today to protect your children. This is the moment where the truth might shake you. What you're about to hear about technology's effects on children and teens might be old news to you, or it might disturb you, or even scare you. Take a deep breath, let it land. Sometimes it takes a jolt to wake us up, and this wake-up call might be the fuel you need to take control of your digital life and your families. Over half of US teens say that they are addicted to the internet, saying they can't function on a daily basis without it. Nearly half of about 1,500 teens, aged 13 to 17, shared in a survey that they are online almost constantly. On average, 8 to 12-year-olds in the US use about 5.5 hours of screen media a day. 13 to 18-year-olds use about 8.5 hours. When young people overdo it with technology, parts of their brains related to emotions and learning change, and not for the better. They're more likely to be depressed, to be anxious, and to engage in self-harm. Screen time crowds out healthy activities like exercise, creative projects, reading, play, daydreaming, and time in nature. Children who spend a lot of time on screens delay important steps toward adulthood, like taking on personal projects, volunteering, finding and spending time with mentors, finding jobs, and even getting their driver's licenses. Constant distraction by notifications fragments children's attention, making it much harder for kids to complete tasks like school assignments. For those kids who do end up driving, it's important to know that distracted driving involving cell phone use is a deadly threat. Cell phone use is implicated in 65% of auto accidents in the US. Blue light at night and the stress of after-hours scrolling affect sleep. And kids who spend a lot of time on screens will find that they're ability to interact with other human beings in a basically kind way is blocked. Screen overusers will move through their world separated from their own thoughts and their feelings and the thoughts and feelings of others. Conversation skills don't develop. Impulse control is reduced because attention systems are chronically overstimulated. There's a loss of compassion and sensitivity, which you may have seen as an adult watching this video, which makes life feel dull and lonely. They're less able to regulate emotions. They stay emotionally immature and reactive instead of developing the emotional intelligence required for healthy adult relationships and successful adulting. Some research says that 70% of teens and children are behind in the development of emotional intelligence because of screen overuse. Digital devices manipulate brain chemicals in ways that mimic addiction. The algorithms that are used have been designed by top engineers and psychologists based on research into motivation and reward cycles to grab and hold on to the attention of all of us, but especially children. The craving for the dopamine hit that is received online over and over again, it drives users back and really makes overuse almost impossible to resist. Heavy use of screens reduces other good brain chemicals like oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. These are all feel-good neurochemicals that are reduced when we overuse screens. Addiction to technology drains motivation. Those moment-to-moment hits of dopamine that people get from being online, that feel-good neurotransmitter leads to cravings for more of the same, and it can feel like too much work and risk to get those hits in real life. So back to the devices we go. And I want to share one piece of good news. A large month-long study by behavioral researchers found that 91% of participants had improvements in at least one of the following just from removing access to the internet through smartphones and smartwatches for 2 weeks. Attention, mental health, and well-being. At least one of those things was improved for 91% of the subjects in this study just by taking access to the internet off of portable digital devices. So we know that if we make it a little harder to access, the results are going to be good.
One-third of teens aged 13 to 17 report that they use social media almost constantly. Children or adolescents who spend more than 3 hours a day on social media have twice the risk of mental health problems, including symptoms of depression and anxiety. Young people with high social media use, more than 3 hours a day, are more likely to be aggressive towards or bully others, and to have attention problems. The average time spent on social media per day is 3.5 hours. Young people today are under constant threat of cyberbullying and online harassment. Almost half of US teens have been bullied or harassed online. That means having mean or hurtful comments, rumors, or humiliating content, intentional exclusion, and repeated contact after being told to stop. Both victims and perpetrators are being driven by digital dependency. Anxiety, depression, self-harm, substance abuse, the school dropout rate, and suicidality are all linked to cyberbullying. Social media makes people compare themselves to others, feel bad about their bodies, and feel like they're just not good enough. Almost half of teens say that social media has negative impact on their body image. Social media content can trigger or worsen eating disorders as well.
Children are being exposed to pornography and sexting as young as age 5. 82% of children are exposed to explicitly violent and or sexual material online by the age of 11. Online predators have easy, direct access to children. According to the Child Crime Prevention and Safety Center, About 500,000 online predators are active every single day. Over 50% of the victims of online sexual exploitation are between the ages of 12 and 15. 1 in every 6 children is a victim of online sexual abuse before the age of 18. 8% of tweens and 10% of teens have encountered predatory behaviors online. Most of the time, about 9 times out of 10, when kids get unwanted sexual messages online, it happens in chat rooms or through direct messages. Predators most often groom children online by visiting sites popular to them and pretending to be their age. They may compliment them and offer them gifts, and then they may want to meet in person. Online predators may ask for explicit photos of a child, even asking them to do violent acts like cutting themselves or carving a number or name into their skin. Predators may then blackmail the child with private photos or videos the child has shared. Hundreds of thousands of children have been victimized by predators in so-called sextortion schemes. Children can access drugs online. Unregulated drugs can be laced with fentanyl, which is an opioid that can be fatal in very small doses. Children may receive advertising for drugs on social media platforms. If they search for them in social media feeds, they will begin to receive more ads. So now let's talk about how families can keep kids safe.
Before letting your child have a smartphone, ask yourself, is your child emotionally strong? Do they have tolerance, acceptance of self and others, and resiliency? Is your child able to grasp how their emotions will be manipulated online? If you try to have that conversation with them, can they understand that? Are you prepared to foster open communication with your child around their online lives, including conversations about critical thinking and media literacy, teaching children to question online content and verify sources before believing or sharing? Are you prepared to help them recognize manipulative advertising and misleading information? Are you prepared to encourage them to discuss their online experiences, including telling you about uncomfortable interactions, cyberbullying, or content that they see that scares them or disturbs them? Are you prepared to have regular check-ins with your child around digital habits and emotional well-being? Are you prepared to teach and train positive digital culture in your family, to establish clear rules and guidelines and digital downtime? Are you prepared to engage in all the digital activities your child is engaging in? Social media, gaming, to follow their accounts and experience the games they're playing online? Are you prepared to inform yourself about and use parental control apps and privacy settings that will enable you to track and limit your child's digital life? Are you prepared to spend time tracking and monitoring? This really does take time. It's a big responsibility. And there's one more point on here that I want to name, which is, are you prepared to be a good role model? Are you prepared to manage your own digital use? If the answer to any of these questions is no, consider waiting until they are all yeses. Even if your child already has access to a smartphone or tablet, it's okay to temporarily withdraw or strongly limit this privilege until you feel fully prepared to keep your child safe. Let the child know this is for their own safety and help them work with you to get safeguards in place so that they can have more access. They'll be really motivated if their support will help them get the access back that they really want to have. Once children have phones or other digital devices, be a good role model around your own digital use. Demonstrate balancing screen time with outdoor time and meaningful off-screen activities and social interactions. Supervise children's time on screens. That's a big ask, but it's really important for family members to get used to using screens together where young children and teens can be monitored. Teach basic online safety, no sharing personal information, and asking parents before using new apps or websites. Encourage children to spend their time online, engaging with educational apps, creative projects, and skill-building activities. And finally, use parental controls and apps such as Bark, Custodio, NetNanny, or Google Family Link, which is free, to monitor, filter content, and limit screen time. Make meal times device-free family time. Keep devices out of bedrooms, and keep them stowed in vehicles aside from use for navigation or playing music. Set daily device timeout periods and engage in non-screen activities together or separately. Promote family activities that don't involve screens, such as board games or reading. And support alternative activities that build real-world skills and confidence. Periodically detox from all digital devices as a family for at least a full day. And end screen time at least an hour before bedtime. Support positive online interactions. Discourage toxic digital behavior. Actively build a culture of kindness in your home. Focus on empathy, emotional awareness, and emotion management. Instill impulse control and help children practice delaying gratification. Have children read and sign a digital use agreement, like the Digital Futures Initiative Parent-Child Device Agreement. This agreement should cover sharing with care, respectful words and content, being a positive person online, following school rules regarding digital device use, parental access and keeping parents informed if any inappropriate content is received or accessed, ensuring parents have all passwords and access to devices at any time, educating themselves on new apps or sites before asking parents to download or use, keeping location services activated, not letting devices interfere with face-to-face time, not calling, writing to, or meeting with someone met online without parental permission and supervision, responsibility to care for devices, and knowing they'll have to pay to replace it if they break it or it becomes disabled due to their own negligence. Make sure the child recognizes that if they violate any of these points of agreement, there will be consequences, including but not limited to restriction or loss of access to digital devices. Enforce this agreement calmly and consistently.
You and your child's school can work cooperatively to maintain healthy digital habits for your child. With your student, review and sign the school digital policy agreements. Ensure that these agreements are well understood by your child. Now, creating a safer digital environment for our children requires schools and families to join forces. We can do this together.
Even when parents and schools do everything they can, kids can still be hurt by things they experience online, or may fall into an addictive pattern with devices that they can't help shift, even with your help. So, if your child really wants to cut back on screen time but just can't, if your child gets anxious or upset when you try to set limits, if your child keeps falling into the same habits, even when it's hurting them socially, emotionally, or physically, even if your child seems totally wrapped up in their devices, they may benefit from extra support from a mental health professional. Families can access free or low-cost mental health resources via their schools or schools' nonprofit agency partners. At AHA, for example, we offer 6 free sessions of supportive therapy to teens in our groups and their families. If you are interested in finding out more about these free sessions, please go to www.ahasb.org to learn more, or contact us at clinical@ahasb.org. On this final slide, you'll see a few ways you can find out more about AHA, a nonprofit partner to Santa Barbara, Goleta, and Carpinteria Public School Districts for over 20 years. We are aligned with schools and families to provide device-free, socially and emotionally nourishing programs to children and teens from grades 5 through 12 and to their parents, guardians, and adults at home. For those parents who need it, the video code is AHA Digital Wellness. Thank you on behalf of all of us for taking the time to view this video. AHA and your child's school hopes it will inspire you to take steps to walk through the digital world with your child, giving them the same kind of protection and support you do in other areas of their lives. So let's come together as parents, teachers, community partners to help our kids grow up healthy, connected, and screen smart.